In the warm glow of Bella Vita Restaurant, where Riverside City's elite savored plates of truffle risotto and clinked glasses of vintage wine, a single act of callousness would spark a reckoning no one saw coming. Lila Carter, a woman whose wheelchair carried her through a world not built for her, rolled up to the hostess stand with a quiet smile, only to be met with a sneer that cut deeper than words. But fate, ever the silent observer, was about to serve a lesson so sharp it would leave the restaurant's polished facade in tatters. Revealing the power of one woman's resilience, Lila Carter maneuvered her wheelchair through the bustling streets of Riverside City, the evening air thick with the scent of summer rain and street food. At 32, she was a freelance graphic designer with a sharp wit and a portfolio that had earned her clients from startups to nonprofits. Her cerebral palsy, diagnosed in childhood, meant she relied on a motorized wheelchair for mobility, but it hadn't dimmed her spirit. Tonight, July 13, 2025, she was meeting her best friend, Maya, at Bella Vita, an upscale restaurant known for its artisanal cuisine and exclusive vibe. It was Maya's birthday, and Lila had saved for weeks to treat her to a special dinner. The restaurant's glass doors gleamed under neon lights, reflecting the city's skyline. Layla adjusted her scarf of vibrant purple that matched her lipstick, and rolled up the ramp, grateful it existed, though it was steep and poorly maintained. Inside, the air was warm with the aroma of garlic and rosemary, and soft jazz drifted from hidden speakers. Patrons in tailored suits and elegant dresses filled the tables, their laughter mingling with the clink of silverware at the hostess stand. A young woman named Vanessa, her blonde hair pulled into a tight bun, glanced up from her reservation book. Her smile faltered as she saw Lila's wheelchair. "Do you have a reservation?" she asked, her tone clipped, her eyes flickering to the crowded dining room. "Yes, under Carter for 2 at 7 o'clock, Lila said, her voice warm but firm. She'd called ahead to confirm the restaurant's accessibility, and the manager had assured her they could accommodate her. Vanessa's lips pressed into a thin line. "I'm sorry, but we're fully booked," she said, not checking the book. "And well, your chair might be an issue. It could block the aisle, safety concerns." Layla's stomach tightened, but she kept her composure. "I was told you have accessible seating. I confirmed it yesterday." Her hands rested on the joystick of her wheelchair, steady despite the heat rising in her cheeks. Vanessa's smile was tight, patronizing. "Maybe you misunderstood. We're really not set up for this." She gestured vaguely at Lila's wheelchair, her voice loud enough to draw glances from nearby tables. A couple in a corner booth whispered, their eyes darting to Lila. "I didn't misunderstand," Lila said, her tone sharpening. "I spoke to your manager, Mr. Rossi. Can you get him, please?" Vanessa sighed, rolling her eyes. "Look, ma'am, I'm trying to be nice here. We can't have you disrupting other guests. Maybe try somewhere else, like the diner down the street." Her words dripped with condescension, and a few patrons snickered, emboldening her. Lila's heart pounded, but she refused to shrink. "I'm not leaving until I speak to the manager," she said, her voice steady. The dining room quieted, all eyes on the confrontation. Vanessa huffed, turning to a passing waiter. "Get Rossi," she muttered, then leaned over the stand, lowering her voice. "You're making a scene. Just go." Before Layla could respond, Maya burst through the doors, her curly hair bouncing as she spotted her friend. "Lila, what's going on?" Maya, a vibrant 30-year-old teacher, had a voice that could fill a room. She sized up Vanessa, her eyes narrowing. "Why is my friend being told to leave?" Vanessa straightened, flustered. "It's not, look, we're just full, okay? And the wheelchair is not a problem," Maya cut in, her tone fierce. "You're discriminating and you know it." At that moment, Mr. Rossi, a balding man in a crisp suit, emerged from the back. His face was a mask of professional calm, but his eyes betrayed irritation. "What's the issue here?" he asked, glancing between Lila and Vanessa. "Your hostess is refusing me service because of my wheelchair," Lila said, her voice clear, cutting through the murmurs. "I confirmed accessibility with you yesterday." Rossi's smile was strained. "I'm sure it's a misunderstanding." But we are quite busy tonight and our accessible table is occupied. Perhaps another time? Lila's jaw tightened. You're telling me to leave because I'm disabled. That's not a misunderstanding. That's illegal. The word illegal hung in the air, and Rossi's smile faltered. The dining room was now silent, phones subtly raised to record. Maya stepped forward, her voice low but lethal. You're going to regret this. Let's go, Lila. Lila nodded, her hands gripping the joystick as she turned her wheelchair toward the door, Maya at her side. The crowd parted, some faces sympathetic, others indifferent. Vanessa's smirk followed them out. Lila and Maya ended up at a cozy diner 2 blocks away, where the waitress greeted them with a warm smile and cleared a table to ensure Lila's wheelchair fit comfortably. Over plates of burgers and fries, Maya fumed. They can't get away with this, she said, her fork stabbing the air. You should sue them, Lila, or at least post about it. Layla sipped her soda, her mind racing. She'd faced discrimination. Before elevator buttons too high, inaccessible bathrooms, pitying stares, but being outright refused service was new. It stung, not just for her, but for everyone who'd ever been made to feel less than. I don't know, Maya, she said. I just wanted a nice dinner. You're too nice, Maya said, pulling out her phone. I recorded some of it Vanessa's. Attitude, Rosie's excuses. Let's post it on X People Need to Know. Lila hesitated. Going public felt like exposing a wound, but the memory of Vanessa's sneer and Rosie's dismissal burned. Okay, she said finally. But I'll post it, my story, my voice. That night, Lila uploaded the video to X from her account at Lila Creates. The clip, shaky but clear, showed Vanessa's condescending tone and Rossi's weak excuses. Lila's caption was simple: refused service at Bella Vita Restaurant because of my wheelchair. This isn't okay. Hashtag accessibility matters. She tagged the restaurant and hit post, her heart pounding. By morning, the post had exploded. Shared by disability rights activists, local influencers, and everyday users, it garnered thousands of views. Comments poured in outrage, support, stories of similar experiences. A local news blog, Riverside Pulse, picked it up, running a story titled Bella Vita Faces Backlash After Denying Service to Disabled Woman. The hashtag boycott Bella Vita began trending. Lila woke to hundreds of notifications. Strangers offered encouragement, legal advice, even invitations to other restaurants. But there were also trolls accusing her of faking her disability or making a fuss. Maya, ever her defender, spent hours clapping back online. Ignore the haters, she told Lila. You're starting something important. At Bella Vita, the fallout was swift. By noon, protesters gathered outside holding signs reading "Access for All" and "Shame on Bella Vita." Customers canceled reservations, and the restaurant's X account was flooded with negative reviews. Rossi, sweating in his office, issued a statement. We deeply regret any misunderstanding and are committed to inclusivity. But the apology rang hollow, especially when a second video surfaced posted anonymously showing Vanessa mocking a disabled customer months earlier. Rossi called an emergency staff meeting. Vanessa, pale and defensive, insisted she was just following protocol. Rossi, under pressure from the restaurant's corporate owners, suspended her pending an investigation. But the damage was done. Bella Vita's reputation, built on exclusivity, was crumbling under the weight of public outrage. Meanwhile, Layla's story caught the attention of Asha Malik, a civil rights lawyer with the Riverside Justice League. Asha reached out, offering to represent Layla pro bono in a potential lawsuit under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. You have a strong case, Asha said over coffee at Lila's apartment. They violated your rights and we can push for accountability. Lila was torn. A lawsuit meant reliving the humiliation, but it also meant holding Bella Vita accountable. What if it helps someone else? She asked. Asha nodded. It will. Your voice is already making waves. Layla agreed to file the complaint, and Aisha moved quickly, securing witness statements from Maya and a diner who'd recorded the incident. The lawsuit alleged discrimination and sought damages for emotional distress. as well as mandatory accessibility training for Bella Vita staff. The news spread, amplifying the boycott. Local restaurants, sensing an opportunity, invited Lila to dine for free, publicly pledging their commitment to accessibility. A week later, Bella Vita's dining room was half empty, a stark contrast to its usual bustle. Rossi, facing pressure from corporate, reached out to Lila through Asha, offering a private apology and a complimentary dining experience. Lila declined. "I don't want your food," she told Asha. "I want change." The turning point came unexpectedly. Vanessa, suspended and facing public scorn, contacted Lila through a mutual acquaintance. In a tearful message, she apologized, admitting her ignorance about disability issues. "I was wrong," she wrote. "I didn't understand how much harm I caused." Lila wasn't ready to forgive, but she responded, suggesting Vanessa educate herself through disability advocacy resources. Rossi, meanwhile, faced a reckoning of his own. The corporate owners, fearing further losses, replaced him with a new manager, Elena Torres, who had a background in inclusive hospitality. Elena reached out to Lila, not with excuses but with a plan. Bella Vita would undergo an accessibility overhaul, wider aisles, staff training, and a public commitment to ADA compliance. She invited Lila to consult on the changes, offering her a fee for her expertise as a designer with lived experience. Lila accepted, not for the money, but for the chance to make a difference. She worked with Elena to redesign the restaurant's layout, ensuring ramps were smooth and tables accessible. The process wasn't easy. Some staff resisted, and trolls continued to harass Lila online, but the results were tangible. Bella Vita's grand reopening, advertised as fully accessible, drew a diverse crowd, including disability advocates who praised the changes. Months later, Lila and Maya returned to Bella Vita, not as victims but as guests of honor. The restaurant, now bustling with a new energy, had a dedicated, accessible section, and staff greeted Lila with genuine warmth. Elena personally welcomed them, thanking Lila for her input. The meal, truffle risotto and tiramisu, was on the house, but the real victory was the sign at the entrance: Bella Vita welcomes all. Lila's lawsuit settled out of court, with Bella Vita agreeing to fund a local disability advocacy program. Vanessa, having completed a sensitivity training course, volunteered at the same program, her perspective shifted by Lila's resilience. Rossi found work at a smaller cafe, where he quietly implemented accessibility measures, a lesson learned the hard way. Lila's ex-post continued to inspire, sparking conversations about accessibility across Riverside City. Her design business flourished, with new clients seeking her expertise in inclusive design. As she and Maya toasted to new beginnings over dessert, Lila felt a quiet pride. The city, with its neon lights and endless challenges, had tested her, but she'd emerged stronger, proving that one voice, wheelchair or not, could change the world.